Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into the absolute crazy rise of Xiaomi. We're talking about a journey from a tiny 2010 software startup to a massive global giant. It's honestly like a cinematic movie plot, exploring how a small team completely conquered the tech world and disrupted massive legacy industries along the way. Let's kick things off with a number that's just staggering: 861 million. That's the number of connected smart devices currently operating inside Xiaomi's ecosystem right now. I mean, we're talking about a glowing global network of interconnected tech that instantly proves just how massive their scale really is. But here's the thing. This kind of scale, it wasn't inherited. It was built completely from scratch. So the core mystery we're unpacking today is, how on earth did a 2010 startup actually conquer the tech world? How did founder Lei Zhan and his small team, working out of a modest little office in Beijing, pull off the seemingly impossible and become the world's second largest smartphone manufacturer in just over a decade? To understand this empire, we have to look at their crazy idea back in 2010, taking a software-first approach. We need to rewind a bit to a mobile landscape that was totally dominated by heavyweights like Apple and Samsung. Breaking into that club required a completely unconventional strategy. And get this, they didn't even start by building a phone. They started with software. Lei Zhan's team created MIUI, a custom Android operating system. And the absolute genius of it, they updated the software weekly, based directly on what users were saying in online forums. By letting the community actually dictate what features came next, Xiaomi built this incredibly loyal army of thousands of passionate early Mi fans, all way before they manufactured a single piece of physical hardware. That leads us right into their disruptive hardware strategy, offering premium tech with zero margins. By 2011, backed by this massive software following, they were finally ready to leap into the physical hardware space. But their entry strategy was so radical that industry experts were literally calling it financial suicide. Think about the traditional hardware model back then. Tech giants drove up prices, hoarded massive profit margins, and just blew absolute fortunes on advertising, right? Well, Xiaomi looked at that and went the exact opposite route. They packed their devices with premium components but sold them at near cost. No massive ad budgets, no traditional retail middleman at first, just online-only flash sales going straight to that incredibly passionate community they'd already built. And the results? When Lei Zhan announced their first phone, the Mi 1, in late 2011, the crowd went absolutely wild. He revealed a phone boasting a dual-core Snapdragon processor and 1 GB of RAM. Those specs went toe-to-toe with the premium iPhone 4S. But here is the kicker. While the 4S was selling for around $800 in China, the Mi 1 launched at roughly $320. It was an unbelievable value that instantly earned them the nickname the Apple of China. Those early flash sales were just wild to watch. We're talking phones selling out in literally seconds. And that insane momentum, it allowed Xiaomi to expand at warp speed. They didn't just stay in the budget lane. They leveraged this massive user base to broaden their product lines, eventually pushing right into the high-end premium flagship market with devices that honestly rivaled anything else on the globe. But hey, you don't build an empire without hitting a few speed bumps, right? That brings us to their push into global retail, specifically the crisis and the pivot. You see, Xiaomi's unstoppable online-only model suddenly hit a brick wall. Out in smaller cities and rural areas, competitors like Oppo and Vivo were just crushing it through traditional physical retail stores, handing out high commissions to local sellers. So Xiaomi had to adapt, and man, did they pivot aggressively. They started rolling out physical Mi Home stores, deeply rooting their brand into brick-and-mortar retail spaces worldwide. And it worked beautifully. In just over a year, by late 2016, their offline sales surged to make up almost 25% of their total revenue. At the exact same time, their global expansion was moving at lightning speed, all thanks to a really clever localization strategy. They teamed up with a company called Blend to translate their apps, products, and even legal services into 45 different languages. Plus, by integrating the Crowd-In platform, they were able to localize their rapid, real-time software updates effortlessly. It wasn't just basic translation, it was deep cultural adaptation. They made sure Xiaomi's tech felt completely native to users' daily lives everywhere, from Europe to Latin America. Now, here is where the master plan truly clicks into place. Let's talk about their giant IoT ecosystem and the hardware-to-services funnel. Because Xiaomi isn't just a phone company, far from it. Those phones, They are actually just a low-margin funnel specifically designed to pull you into this massive, highly profitable ecosystem of interconnected devices and services. Think about it like this. Once you buy one of their affordable, high-quality phones, you quickly realize it perfectly controls your new Xiaomi Smart TV, or tracks your steps with a Mi Smart Band, or schedules your robot vacuum. They built an ecosystem so compelling that their physical Mi home stores started seeing a 2 to 3 product attachment rate, meaning if you walked in to buy one thing, you were almost definitely walking out with 2 or 3 more. It completely changed how consumers outfit their entire homes. This interconnected web of devices fueled their growth into this futuristic, global digital ecosystem. Today, over 685 million monthly active users are living inside this network, using everything from premium smart audio to advanced wearable tech. They successfully brought users into an environment where literally every new device you buy makes all your other devices more valuable. But hey, if you think smart homes are the peak of this story, buckle up. Let's dive into the electric vehicle era, their next frontier. Xiaomi recently announced their most audacious leap yet. They are taking their entire tech ecosystem playbook and applying it to one of the most complex, legacy-dominated industries on Earth, automotive mobility. When you look at their timeline, the sheer speed of their evolution is mind-blowing. They went from launching a simple software skin in 2010 to announcing a jaw-dropping $10 billion electric vehicle investment in 2021. And then just a few years later in 2024, they actually rolled out the SU7 EV commercially. In a span of just 14 years, they morphed from an Android ROM startup into a massive global mobility and smart home powerhouse. And the result of all that is the Xiaomi SU7 series. And you have to understand, this isn't just a car. It's practically a high-speed extension of their tech ecosystem. To pull this off, Xiaomi poured a massive 24 billion RMB into R&D in 2024 alone. They focused intensely on autonomous driving, advanced battery thermal management, and they even designed their own custom silicon to make it happen. They are essentially taking the exact same vertical integration and massive manufacturing scale that let them sell premium phones at half the price, and they are pointing that massive weapon directly at legacy automakers. Their high-tech EV assembly lines are absolute proof that Xiaomi isn't just dipping their toes in the water here. They are building the heavy infrastructure needed to totally dominate. And what exactly powers these massive, futuristic factories? Cutting-edge robotic automation. It's an incredible full-circle moment. The robots they build are helping manufacture the cars they design, which then seamlessly integrate right back into the smart home networks they already control. It is a completely closed-loop technological empire. And financially, this empire is rock solid. Xiaomi is way beyond just being a domestic Chinese phenomenon at this point. In fact, over 45% of their revenue now flows in from international markets, places like Europe, India, and Latin America. It just proves that their disruptive model translates perfectly across the entire globe. It's amazing when you think about it. It all traces back to Lei Jun's original, seemingly crazy philosophy: make the world's best phone and sell it at half the price. The so-called experts said it was financial suicide. They said it was literally impossible. But by putting their community first, operating with those razor-thin hardware margins, and building an inescapable, beautiful ecosystem, well, it built an absolute empire. Which brings us to the end of this explainer. Xiaomi has grown from a little software startup into a giant that powers our living rooms, our wrists, and now our highways. So, looking at this unstoppable, interconnected momentum, I've got a question for you. Which industry do you think they're going to disrupt next? Think about it. Thanks for joining me on this incredible journey today, and keep exploring.